Sin is what I need. Whoa, Psychic Stina is live medicine. Live medicine is what we need. Whoa, give it up. It's Psychic Stina live. Psychic Stina live is what I need. Whoa, I am live. I am live medicine. Hi, Dipty. Hi, how are you? Hey there, you guys. Here I am. Here I am. I'm live. I made it. Hi, Fatima. I made it. I am live. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Hi, Neha. I feel like everybody changed their names. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just doing my thing. So I have hurt my back. So, oh, thank you so much, 50. So I haven't been coming live. I haven't been feeling too great. So Fatima wanted a reading on this live. So normally when I do readings on the live, you pay on the live. If it's off the live, that's a private reading. That's a private reading. Hi, Madison. How are you, Madison? Hi, Mind, Body, Soul. Hello. Hi there, you guys. Hi there. So if you are trying to reach me and get, it's $30 USD to get a reading on the live. It's $30. I'm Psychic Stina on Cash App and Venmo. Psychic Stina on Cash App and Venmo. And that is how you get a reading on the live, is by paying me. Is by paying me. And that includes you too, Neha. You need to pay me. So let me just write this down. Readings for $30. A Psychic Stina on Cash App and Venmo. Oh, you're going to Spokane. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty radola. Radola, going out of town. So let me see here. But yeah, normally if you want a reading and I'm not live, then that's a private reading. And so in order to schedule a private reading, you would go to my website, psychicstina.com. How's it going, pups? Okay, so I have a couple of readings to do today. The first reading is a patron. We have a patron reading. And you got beware of scammers. Everyone, beware of scammers that like to show up on the live. If you're on Facebook, scammers will come in and try to poach you. So beware if somebody says, I have a message for you or anything like that. And sometimes on Instagram, people will follow you from the live and they'll say, I have a message for you. Just ignore them. It's a scammer. They're going to tell you you're cursed. And hey, pups, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? I got a puppy. Hi there. Hey, Fever. How are you? How are you? Thank you for joining my Patreon. Thank you for joining my Patreon. Yeah, there are so many scammers these days, Callie. It is true. It is so, so true. So many scammers. Let's see here. So the first reading that you're going to do, you're so hungry. Hey, Fever. I know, like my boyfriend smoked the other day. He's been coughing in the backyard. Let me see here. Okay, Mama Dre. So Mama Dre on Patreon gets the first reading. She gets the first reading. And then I have Fatima, and then we'll go from there. So Mama Dre, this is her question. So if you guys want to join my Patreon, feel free to do so. I am Psychic Stina on Patreon. Hi Stina, I've been trying to catch you on TikTok live, but I've been missing you. I'm not going live on TikTok, so that's why. I'm in Vegas now. My question for the month is about work. Will I find what I'm looking for, and soon? Should I serve or something temporary until then? Patreon, yes. So different categories of Patreon get whatchamacallit. There is a level of Patreon that gets readings each month. Hey Fever, you're on the $6 level. That one typically doesn't get readings every month. So we'll have to figure that one out. So maybe we could do it every other month or something like that. So, let's see here. So, for Patreon, so Mama Dre, let's see here. Oh, thank you so much. Hey Fever, I really appreciate the support. It's really sweet of you to support me like that. It's very sweet of you. So, Mama Dre. So Mama Dre is looking for work. It's hard to find work right now. It's very challenging. I mean, work is out there, but just being able to find a job is a miracle in itself, it seems like. So, Mama Dre, let me throw down some cards. Seems as if you're in a new place. You just moved, so it makes sense that you don't have work quite yet. It says that you're expecting a lot of competition. Seven of Pentacles, thinking about serving. So thinking about doing work that isn't exactly what you're used to. I think that's really bold. Hi, sweetie. Love you. I hope you had a good shower. Okay. Good night. Go on, pups. Okay. So it seems as if work that you're having a hard time finding work that pays you a lot, and so you may have to do a job that, well, you're feeling like you might have to do a job that is a little, I don't want to say beneath you, but just not what you normally do. And so I don't know if that happens. It does say that financially you're kind of on and off, and you're a little bit challenged, and you get the Three of Swords. So it's just like you're, how can I say? The Three of Swords is a funny card, because it's like betraying yourself. It's like betraying yourself. Yeah, it is really hard out there to look for a good job. And she's in Vegas. So it's like, should she serve or what? And so it kind of says that you go against yourself. It says that you do get a job carrying things. So I don't know. Hi, Amanda. So I don't know if you get a job actually serving or if you do something else, but I mean, it's possible that, well, it's the 10 of Wands. And so the 10 of Wands is sometimes like carrying stuff. It's like doing something. It's the Moon and the 10 of Wands. So you might get a job that's like graveyard, like a graveyard shift where you're taking care of something or something like that. Like you may end up working at night. Like I don't know if it's stalking or doing something where you're managing inventory or being a concierge is what Hey says. Hey Fever. That's great, Amanda. I'm so proud of you. A poem she wrote was published in a book. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's awesome. I wrote an article for InStyle magazine yesterday, but I didn't hear if they're going to put it in. I've been like waiting to hear from them, but I might not hear from them. So sometimes you get published, sometimes you don't. It's just, you just have to put your work out there and maybe someone will pick it up. So good for you. Good for you. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they're looking for writers all the time, you know. So yeah, so it seems, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's more like quotes, you know. They kind of quote me as an astrologer. But that would be cool. I've never been in InStyle before, so that would be really neat. I got published in whatchamacallit, in Allure magazine recently, which I thought was very cool. So anyways, it looks as if Daddy, are you somebody we know? I don't recognize you. I don't recognize your name. But that's nice. Thank you for joining my live. So yeah, oh, there's Trend Zone. I was thinking that Daddy, you turn into Trend Zone. Hi, Trend Zone. How are you today? Um, so nice to see you too. So it says that you end up moonlighting, doing something, you know, here's the moonlighting card. But it's interesting. It says that with your experience that you might be able to get like a midnight job, you know, like a job, you know, where you're working at night, and it's the Queen of Swords. So this is kind of like a manager position. So you might be able to like supervise a night shift doing something, or, you know, so you may be stuck working on the night shift. And so it's everything isn't as planned. I mean, it's like obviously we want to have money, and we want to work, and we want to do all these things, but not everything comes out as good as possible. But it kind of says that you sort of get the first job that you get, you know. So it may change in time, but it seems as if it's like a managerial position that is at moonlighting. So well, welcome, Daddy. You. Thank you so much for joining my live. So, so that is what I have for Mama Dre. So good luck to you. Hi, Hollywood Healer. I hope that everything works out for you. And yeah, that's all kind of new. It just says beware of being bitchy to your man. Beware of taking out a bad attitude on the person that you're with. Hi, Hollywood Healer. Hi, Phoebe. How are you doing? How are you doing? All right. All right. Now it's for Fatima. Fatima, are you here? Fatima, are you here? Please let me know. Sending you love too. Let me know if you're here. So I'm going to start putting out your cards. This may be a little bit of a short live. I've been going to bed earlier. I've been trying to take care of myself. Like the late night lives kind of mess with me a little bit. So yeah, I'm just like trying to figure out my schedule. I'm just out of my schedule. Yes. Yes, I'm good. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining my live. I know I've been getting messages from you, and so I know that I haven't been around. I kind of missed my goal. Like we don't always get what we can. No, I don't have a new schedule. I hurt my back. I'm like in kind of some pain right now. So I've been taking some time off, and I've been sleeping at night. And so my boyfriend got a new job, and so it's just the schedule at my house is just different. So I got to figure out when to go live. So I just haven't figured it out. I'm so confused. I'm so confused with my life. So anyways, I'm just going to go live when I can and figure it out from there. So, okay, Fatima. So Fatima wants to know if self-care queen, absolutely, is good to be good to yourself. So Fatima is kind of wondering about a situation about trying to move into a new place. I didn't understand your message completely. It sounds like you're selling your house and you're trying to rent somewhere else. And so and you're like trying to get them to pick you to get into the place and stuff like that. And so it seems as if there's a little bit of a lottery going on to get the place. And I always find when you are, how can I say, maybe some people can understand this, when you want something so bad, and it's kind of a lottery type of situation, and you're like just like saying like it's going to be me, it's going to be me. You have to be prepared to like be disappointed and not getting exactly what you want in the time that you want it. And that's normally a protection, because you might be getting protected by not getting, you might be getting protected about, for not getting a bad neighbor, or a bad place, or so I know, like, when we want something like super, super hard and we're like, pick me, pick me, pick me, you have to be prepared for them to not pick you. Because if they would pick you, it's I don't think you can hop the line, even though you're calling every day. So even though you are being available, there are other people that are also there. So you just, it's, moving is almost like when you're looking for a place, it's almost like falling in love, where you kind of get the right place at the right time, or you meet the right person at the right time, or it's just like you kind of fall into the situation. Like when we moved to this place, we came up here, we were looking for a place. One day we had 3 places lined up, and then within an hour we lost all 3. So, and then we found a place. We didn't give up. And then we got a place that's like even better than what we expected. And so you just kind of have to be hopeful and optimistic, but you kind of can't put your eggs all in one basket. I would definitely like look around and look for other places, because this might not be the place for you. If it's the place for you, it would be easier. It would be easier. So Knight of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. So you have the guy from afar, 4 of Swords, 10 of Swords. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you get this place. I'm not getting the moving card. It just says somebody's off at the distance. That might be somebody that you were saying. Yeah, no, don't like don't like throw in the towel just because you think that this is a sure bet, because I don't think it is a sure bet. And you get the 4 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, which maybe they just don't get back to you, which may be kind of like the situation where you keep asking, and asking, they don't get back to you. And so you end up finding somewhere else. So it may not be, these 2 cards, the 4 of Swords, 10 of Swords, are not necessarily the greatest cards when it comes to, getting the place. It seems as if you have to like change plans and do something else. And rejection is protection. We say that all the time. You have 90 days. So you have 90 days to find a place that works for you. I placed a Craigslist ad. That's how I found my place. Was I put on Craigslist, well, like place wanted, like I did a place wanted ad. And that's how I found this place. And so somebody reached out to me, because all the places that I applied for, they didn't like me for this, they didn't like me for that. There are other people in line. The people that were renting backed out, or they decided to stay, or it's just so much drama. So it does say that you end up working with someone, but you probably have to change. You probably have to change your process. So yeah, so definitely keep looking. You get the 8 of Swords and the 7 of Cups, which is looking for an opportunity, looking for a contract on the outside. But then so have you already sold the house? Has the house already sold? So this is looking, figuring out ways to find a place to get a contract, And it says that you might even have to ask somebody to help you. You get the 3 of Pentacles, which is you can talk to realtors realtors in the area and see if they know. So hi Juanita. So there may be a situation. No, it hasn't sold. So you're in kind of a tricky situation. So you know it. Well, the Ten of Swords, Four of Swords, challenging. Hi, Quinita, baby. So it says that you may need to find some sort of a realtor or get into a renter's place or have somebody that can be extra eyes for you that knows of places for you to look and so you may instead of looking for yourself, you may need to talk to a couple of realtors or and that was something that I did was when looking for a place to live, like I looked on, what is it, rent.com and Zillow, and I looked everywhere. And so it has like the renters, because they're normally like property agents. And so the property agents normally manage several properties. So instead of uh realtors are the greatest people. Yeah, you want, exactly, yeah, you want to find so the three of pentacles is like having that extra person be an extra set of eyes. But then also you can go to the property agents and look to see what's available on their sites, because it's all like this lottery system, first come first serve. And when you get to the places that are like on Zillow or rent.com or something, it's like they're already gone by the time they're put up. There's already, so many ads. So if you go to the property agents and look on their websites and just keep looking at them. Oh, you're not late. You're right on time, Trend Zone. Yeah, well, moving is really stressful. And so you may not move exactly when you want to. And so it seems as if within the next several times, I do see you putting money down on a place. That's another thing that you might have to be willing to do, is say, hey, I'll pay for the first 3 months up front, or like put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. So it's not easy to find a place. It's not easy at all. Well, because when I moved to Oregon, it was so challenging. It took us several months to find a place. So definitely more than 3 months. And so it was just really hard. Wanting to win the lottery and stuff, sometimes there's just a better person that is more suited for that place, and like let them take care of the drama of why the people moved out and stuff like that. Like don't worry about it. So it seems though that you are real estate prices are starting to drop. That's really good. That's really good. I know it's been a nightmare. So maybe when those prices start to drop, it'll be easier to find places. But it's, people are weird about renting, and it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. But there are apartments out there that are out there for you. So it says, say that you're looking for an opportunity, and that you end up putting money down on a place, um and but it says that you have to, is that you get rejected before you get the place. So it seems as if there is some rejection ahead of you. You've never rented before. Yeah. Well, they want like a suit, like a certain type of credit, and they want buying and selling real estate. Yeah. It's all just a whole thing. She's looking to rent an apartment. And so um but that's another thing, is that you're renting with someone and you're renting with other people. So you want to kind of be sure. I mean, it's like we kind of land where we land, but go there at night and stuff like that. So if you don't get into a place, like, always be grateful. Always be grateful when things don't work out, because that's the universe saving you a lot of headache and a lot of hassle. Something that I've done in the past Rentals, yeah, rentals are sky high. They are really expensive. Well, because a lot of people backed out on their leases, and there was the whole lease forgiveness and rent forgiveness, like where they couldn't kick you out, and so they just want people to be really good payers, and they want perfect credit, and it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. So it does say that you are going to get rejected before you get a win. So let me see if you end up getting into an apartment. Hold on a second. Um, Let me see here. You do, you do, but you may get a place and it falls through. You may get a place that you put money down and then it falls through, and then you have to like figure out how to get money. It does say that you end up getting somewhere that does have a really nice garden or a very nice like balcony or something like that. It seems as if there might be a place that you really like. Um, Yeah, yeah, you want to go at night and sit in front of the place and just watch, see who comes and goes, see who comes and goes, see if it's loud, see if there's police activity. I mean, you want to find out. But there's on like Nextdoor, or there's like crime maps that you can get of your place. I don't know if you're on nextdoor.com. It's really cool. You can find crime maps of your area, and so you can go to that area and you can see if there's like crime or what kind of crime. But it is good to kind of go there at night. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's just different things that you want to do. I mean, we kind of got this place, and we sort of just like thanked the universe because we were coming from thousands of miles away. So we had to. So it was just hard. It was really hard to get this place. Um, yeah, you want to have a son. Yeah, you want to have a safe place for your son. Oh, it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. Says that you may end up getting into a place that's a little bit more expensive, and it's unexpected. There's a challenge, there's competition, there's it's just this whole thing. So just take it one step at a time. Take it one step at a time. It says that and I can relate to this. Is it says that you want things to happen really quickly, and some things just don't happen quickly, like getting into relationships, like finding a place to live, like finding a job. It's like we want things to just like boom happen, like it's automatic, it's just there, and then we try, and then it just doesn't, and it just doesn't work out the way we want. Things always happen in their right time, in God's time. Yes, it is a paid reading. And everything happens in the right time, in God's time, and we just have to be willing to accept the outcomes, and just keep trying. You got to keep making your own circumstances. But you kind of have to take your time, even though we want to go really fast and we want it to be now, 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 now. It doesn't necessarily happen now. It doesn't. Things don't always happen like immediately when you want it. So it does seem like you may have some rejections before you get a yes. But yeah, absolutely. And so that's something that we did. We went to the property managers websites. Absolutely. Don't yes, it's $30 for a personal reading. Yeah, definitely don't put all your eggs in this basket, because you might not get it, and it might not be the right place, and so um there might be all kinds of problems. It just reminds me of, I lived in this apartment, and like down the hallway there was this apartment, and the person had died in it. The person had died, and they didn't find the person for days, and so the whole place was absolutely a mess. And so my friend who lived in the building, who lived downstairs, he was like, oh, but that's a nice apartment. So he went and he asked to move into that place, because they had to like completely redo the walls. They had to. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, that's like weird vibes. That's like weird energy. And so you just kind of, you don't know why people are vacating a place. There could be all kinds of reasons. So, but yeah, you can absolutely go onto the property manager's websites and check out their listings that come up before they're listed other places. Oh my gosh, the person had died and they weren't found for like a month or something. It was like really bad. It was really bad. They had to change everything. They had to like take down walls. They had to change the windows. It was really bad. It was really bad. So, I mean, so you just have to, you just get into the place that's right for you and right for your circumstance. And so you just can't rush it. And, but yeah, that's what I looked at property management websites and so I would find the property management websites on Zillow and rent.com. And so I would go to those websites and I would look at their listings, because their listings are posted before they're posted onto rent.com. Oh my gosh, that's terrible, Hollywood Healer. The husband killed his wife and they didn't tell you he lived in that place. That sounds totally gnarly. I know, yeah, it was super haunted. Yeah, I lived in this place. I lived with this guy, and 1111, and we had lived there for a while, and then he told me that his grandfather died like in our bedroom. And I'm like, oh, like I didn't know, I didn't know. And it just made me kind of like, he said he had to move the bed to a different place so that he wasn't looking in the same direction that his grandfather did when he died or something. I was like, whoa. I mean, it's okay. I mean, death happens, but you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen. So let me just throw a couple of more cards for you, Fatima. So just something that I've done, and I'm sure Hollywood Healer knows about this, but it's to chant for a place and to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for a place. And so something that I've done in the past is write like a list of everything that I want. It's near walking paths, it's near a good school, it's near to work, it has walking distance to places, it looks like this, it has stainless steel, 111 for you, Trenza. Stainless steel appliances. It has counter space. It has an island. It has new carpet. Like write down a list of everything that you want in a place, and then you chant for it. You pray for it. You put it on your altar. You write a list, and so you manifest the type of place that you want. And so when you are looking for a place, definitely write the list and put it out there. Yeah, it's very amazing to manifest. Absolutely. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is like amazing to manifest. And for me, when I was getting this place, and it just turned out like more perfect, because I wanted an office, and so I was looking for a 3-bedroom, but it turned out to be a 4-bedroom. So that I have an office and my boyfriend has an office. So it was like really like, it just like worked out. So what I did was I spent time being, oh, well, Charizard is cool. Yeah, you want to be very, very specific. Yeah. And so I spent time, hi there, Lynn. I spent time being grateful and drawing pictures of the place and drawing pictures of trees, and so I like journaled for months before we found this place. I'm so happy and grateful that I have my place, that I have my office, that I'm with trees, that I have this, that I have room for that, and I just spent a lot of time being grateful. And so I did gratitude lives. Actually, I was doing these gratitude lives on TikTok, and where we just came on and we all just hung out and just said things that we were grateful for and things that we were going to do that day to find the place that was right, like actions we were going to take for the day. And so I would just spend time being grateful for the place. And so you're grateful for the blessings you have now, but you can also be grateful for the blessings to come. And so I spent time doing that. Absolutely. So yeah, you may end up meeting a new property management person. Like the property management person that you're working with now may not be the person that finds the place for you. You may end up meeting a different person that has different listings, and you may even have to pay a little bit of money to get on a special list or something like that. But it says that you end up finding a place, and that there's like somebody really gorgeous that lives there. So anyway, so that's what I have for that. So yeah, that's what I have. So good luck, and I hope it all works out really good for you. And so yeah, that's what I have to say about that. That is what I have to say about that. So anyways, I am doing this live. I don't think anybody, sure, Fatima, anytime. I don't know if anyone else. Okay. Hey, Fever wanted story time. She wanted story time. So I was how I got my first psychic hotline job. So so I used to work on a psychic hotline back in the 90s. So I've been doing professional readings since like 91. And so from the early 90s. And so back then there was like the Dionne Warwick line, Psychic Friends Network, that you may have heard about. Sometimes you'll hear jokes. Well, back then you would hear jokes about psychic friends. They probably just Saturday Night Live skit about psychic friends, but I was on the Psychic Friends Network for a while. But you would go and you would get, I was on the Miss Cleo line for 5 seconds. I've done like lots of different lines. I was on the Milli Vanilli line, which is just weird that they even had a line. But what had happened, so you would get these papers like the Trader or LA Weekly or the Guardian, or like you would get like the city newspapers, and you would look in the back and it would have all of the 976 numbers for like sex lines and for psychic lines. They were just like the back of these newspapers, and that's how the psychic lines were promoted, was through the back of these papers. They would have all the sex lines, 976 eat me, or whatever. They would have all kinds of crazy sex lines, and there would be like Miss so-and-so, Miss Tabitha will read your fortune at 976, read me for nothing, or it was a trend. And so in that, absolutely, Cleo. So I read on the Cleo line before they took her away in cuffs. So I was only on her line for just like a little tiny bit. But yeah, so I worked on this line. So I worked on this psychic line, and I was Psychic Abigail. And so my name now, Psychic Stina, is a nod to the 90s days. It's like, because I was Psychic Abigail. And so we would answer the phone, Psychic Answers, this is Psychic Abigail. How can I help you? And so I'm now Psychic Stina because I use, because of my name is Stina. So, and I actually got my name Stina while I was working on that job. Somebody says, you're a Stina. And I said, cool, I'm a Stina. And it was somebody named Nick. So I actually have a nickname, Stina. And so I graduated high school, and I graduated high school when I was 15, and I was looking for a job, and I worked at like a pizza place, and that was like like sexual harassment up the yin yang. And then a friend of mine said, you're psychic, come work with me. And so I went to this place, It was called NTS, and it had several lines. So you would go to the back of the newspaper that had all the 976 numbers, and all those numbers would go to one place. So we had like 40 lines or 50 lines or 100 lines, or like all being fed into this room of 40 psychics. So there was like 40 psychics, and and we were just in this big room, and we had our cubicles and our headsets and our cards. We would do our cards. And so I went and I interviewed. I was 15, so I was the youngest person there. You have to be 18 in order to call. So I was like younger than everyone that would call in. And I've always like had like people, like older people had always come to me for advice. So I was really good at giving advice, oddly enough, and kind of old for my age, and graduated from high school. So I gave this lady a reading, and she said, "Sure, when can you start?" So next thing you know, 40 hours a week, I'm working on a psychic hotline. And that's how it began. It was nutty. It was like all the psychics, most of the psychics were like really good psychics. Most of the people were really good. There were a couple that were like, couple of them that were a little shady, and they would do things. You're so nice, Trend Zone. There were a couple of psychics that were really shady, and they would keep people on the phone. They would like bait them, and so we were paid based on how long we kept the people on the line. And I always feel bad about it because these psychic lines were very expensive. They were, $3 a minute, $6 a minute. The Puerto Rico line was like $8 a minute. And so if you kept somebody on the line, if you had a whole time of like 10 minutes or more, you would get paid more. And so my whole time was always really low. So I called myself the speedy psychic, probably because I was on so much speed. But you could say, "Hold please, I need a minute to receive it." Yeah. No, I would do a lot of charts. And so I would say, "Oh, let me do a compatibility." And so we didn't have computers back then. So we did all of the astrological charts out of an ephemeris. Like we looked it up, like their birthdays in a book, and found where the Venus and the Saturn, and like we would look it all up in a book. There was one guy though that would call all the time, and he was just totally addicted to the psychic line, because there were people that were addicted to the psychic line, like so addicted, and they would call all the time. And they would call and call for a month, and we would and everybody would get the person, because the line was like first come first serve. And so if you were available, you would get the caller. So you couldn't like ask for a person. So if somebody was calling, like we would all get the person if somebody was calling a lot. And then they just wouldn't pay their phone bill. They would say, "Oh, my kid ran up like a big phone bill." And so so if you didn't pay, and so you would pay for the readings through your phone bill. And so people would run up these $1,000 phone bills, or like really crazy. And so I always felt really guilty about it. So I read so fast. I gave the fastest readings. My whole time was like the lowest. It was the lowest. I was always like second to the bottom. Yeah, they charged $2.99 a minute was like the lowest, and then up to like $8 a minute. I think the Puerto Rico line was like $8 a minute. It was so high. But it normally landed around $3.99 a minute, $4.99 a minute. It was like really, and I was getting $10 an hour. I swear they were charging like I was making my wage in like 2 minutes. But I was doing so many readings. Like I got good really quickly at doing readings. Like I was like, I've been reading cards my whole life. And so it wasn't like that big of a deal. to read cards, but I just, it's like it's not the place where you can look out of a book to, to get the answers. Like you had to go and like know what you're talking about. So I got really good, like super fast. Like they just throw you into the fire, and next thing you know, you're just giving these readings that are lightning fast. Well, I was just giving like lightning fast readings, like 40 readings a day, like bang, 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 bang. And I mean, it was, some people were like really annoying. There were a lot of people that were calling, and we kind of made up the song, the "Do We Love Me" song. Do he love me? Do he love me? Because everybody would ask. I just want to know, do he love me? Like it seemed like that was like the question. Like that was always the question every day. It's like, and it was specifically worded that way, which was kind of weird to all of us. It was, do he love me? Do he love me? And so I've always kind of kind of have been, like we had the "Do We Love Me" song, and I thought about making sure it's like "Do We Love Me" and then like on the back say "He do," but I don't know if that's racist, or I don't know if that's wrong to do. So it was, everybody would ask, "Do we love me?" But they would say crazy shit like people, like the readings were insane. There were so many times they would say he's in prison and he had a baby with a girl down the street and he got out, he's living with this other girl, and he's coming to see me once a week, and I just want to know, do he love me? Is he coming back? Like that's what it was, is do we love me? And but like these readings were so intense because these guys were like, oh my gosh, they were sleeping with everybody. Like their boyfriends were sleeping with everybody, and and some people, like, you just wonder if they're committing crimes. You're just wondering if they're committing crimes. But a lot of people, I remember, like they would do this thing when people would call in and they would ask for clairvoyant. And so whenever somebody would call in going, "Hi, can I speak to clairvoyant?" Like somebody would stand up and go, "Is Claire here? Is clairvoyant here?" Like they would, I just remember like they would yell out in the room if Claire was available, if clairvoyant was available. Um, it was really silly. It was really silly, but there was a lot of people that like couldn't afford to call the psychic line that were calling, and I don't know, like how they managed to pay their phone bills. They would just get their phone cut off. They would just get the phone cut off. They would just call for a month. People were addicted to the psychic line. No. People were addicted to the psychic line. I don't know. Maybe I should have milked them for longer readings, but I would just run out of things to say. It was like, this is what you want to know. So here it is. And, but if like people like wanted to know more information, that's when I would do a lot of the astrology. I would do astrology charts. So, but it's complicated to do astrology charts. Thinking about it, Clara, please. Is there a clairvoyant? I want to talk to Claire. We're like, who's Claire? There's a clairvoyant. And there was the Marie Simone line. And that was like the beginning of the end, was when the Marie Simone people came. And so what had happened was they had sent out this letter. You could show us what doing an astrology chart means someday. Well, it's a little different these days, because now you can just do it you can now just do a chart out of your phone or using a computer. I have a phone app that does charts, but yeah, we used to use an ephemeris and stuff, and we used to go at night. We go in the middle of the night, and me and my roommate Dusty, we were both psychics. on the line, and we would go to Denny's in the middle of the night, make predictions for the presidents and for the years to come. We would do charts for the future, and we would do all kinds of stuff. He was a really good astrologer. He's coming out with a book. Coming out with a book. We're not really talking right now, but he's coming out with a. He wrote The Easiest Way to Read the Tarot Ever. It's actually a really popular book. He dedicated it to me. It's very popular. It's like one of the top tarot books that you can get on Amazon. It was like #1 in the tarot. But anyway, so he lived with me, and I wouldn't say he got me the job. I think he thinks he got me the job, but I kind of got the job. So anyway, but he's a very good astrologer. So he's coming out with a book of the easiest way to do astrology ever, I think. So I don't know. I don't know how far in he's to it, but he's a great astrologer. So anyways, there's the Marie Simone line. So Marie Simone went and sent out these he sent out these mailers to people saying that you have a Judas among your friends, like somebody's betraying you, and you should get these lucky numbers, and the first 3 minutes are free. First 3 minutes are free. And so call for your lucky numbers, first 3 minutes free. And so that fucked with us because people would call for their lucky numbers, and people would call for their lucky numbers and then hang up, and so that they wouldn't have to pay after 3 minutes. So if we got the people off the phone within 60 seconds, then it wouldn't hurt our call time. So we were just like doing like these really fast numbers, and so people would call you and they go, "Hi, I like my lucky numbers," and we're like, "Huh." So all of a sudden we went from like really like good psychics to like giving lucky numbers to people. Oh my god. Oh my god, the fucking lucky numbers. That was the end of us. And then shortly after they were doing all the lucky numbers, like we all would like clock in and take like hour-long breaks, and we were just like giving up. It was like total mutiny on the psychic line. It was madness. And then we all got laid off. And they changed the whole system in like 92, 93. So I was on the psychic line like during the heyday of the 976 numbers. Like it was like this really small window, and then it started in with the first 3 minutes free, or first minute free, or something like that. And it was a mess though, because it would screw us up because you would talk to somebody and they would hang up, and it would hurt your whole time. So if you had a 30-minute call and like a lucky number call, then it would take your average down to 15 minutes. And then if you had another, it would take your average down to 7 minutes. And it was just a mess. So there's this one guy. He was so silly. Andy, we're still friends. People would go, "Hi, I like my lucky numbers," and he would be like, "Your lucky numbers are 12, 18, 42, 67, 85, and 7,436,022 squared." he would like give like the first 6 numbers, and then he would like and then he would just give like this like really like long number. It was like absolutely ridiculous. But the lucky numbers were a mess. So then Miss Cleo passed, and she was in court. Oh, did she die? I guess she did die. Yeah, Miss Cleo was a mess. I had moved to Texas, and And so I was when I was doing the psychic line, it was before you could do it from home. So you had to go into an office and sit in a cubicle and like answer the phone. And after a while, like after I'd been there for like a year, and everybody that was there, and I worked with some really cool people. And they were great psychics. I worked with Frank Zappa's sister. She was like, she cussed up a storm. She cussed like a trucker. Frank Zappa's sister, and poor Miss Cleo. Oh, Miss Cleo. But she got laid off before I did. But then they went and they brought in telemarketers. They started advertising job as a telemarketing job. And so they brought people in and they gave them trainers, and they basically said, okay, these are the meanings of the cards, and people would tape meanings of the cards onto their cards. And so they would put down cards and they would say, oh, so there people came in who weren't readers, were coming in and reading. And so some of them were okay, but some of them were like, and that's when like the scammy psychics came on. And so there was three in particular that we were like, you guys are like doing the wrong thing. Like they were like really baiting the people. They'd be like, oh, something like it's really important is going to happen. You really need to know like what is coming up, but our time is ending, so you have to call back, and I'll tell you this really important message for you. And so they would have these readings that would last an hour. Like they had these really long hold times because they were saying, oh, there's this important message, and they were just bullshitting the people. And we felt, and they sat on like the far edge of, because I sat in like the cool row. We were all cool, and we would do these parties, and and stuff like that. Like everybody that I sat with was like really cool. We were the cool guys. Um, I ended up working swing shifts, so I would work 3 to midnight. I'd work 3 to midnight, so it was pretty cool. But Miss Cleo, like her situation, so after 1992 or so, there was no longer the need to have people in the office, so they could send the calls to your house. They could send the calls to your house, so you can. Yeah, it was really fucked up. So they could send the calls to your house, and then you can be on a psychic line now, and the call just comes to your house, and then you answer it and you just wait. And so it's a totally different thing. Like back in the heyday, it was crazy because all the lines were coming to this one big room, and we were just your front door just dropped. um and so all the calls were coming to one big room. So the Miss Cleo line, they would come to you on the phone. Yeah, the Miss Cleo line would come to you on the phone. Like they would call your house, and you would have the Miss Cleo. So um yeah, but we wouldn't answer the phones in Jamaican accents or anything. We would be, like I said, I was psychic Abigail. I was psychic Abigail. And that's who I was. So when I worked on the psychic line, I gave tens of thousands of readings. I gave so many freaking readings. It's uncountable. The amount of readings that I have done professionally is like, it's insane. So yeah, so I was, and there are always different types of people, on that read. There was this lady who said that she would get all of her information from a little alien that was like behind your shoulder. It was like she was oddly like really accurate. um this one lady said that like Jimi Hendrix appeared to her on her dashboard, like a 3-inch tall Jimi Hendrix, like gave her like a prediction. He like appeared on her dashboard. Oh, oh no. No, they don't pay well. You got fired. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I'm on the Keen line, but they kind of fucked with me a little bit. Like I was supposed to like they were supposed to pay people that would call my line, and then I would get paid for the time, and then paid for the do I believe in aliens? I think so. Yeah. And so they would get so I was supposed to get paid double kind of, but they didn't pay me right. So I am on the Keen line if I wanted to do that, but I do not. I do not. Well, it's like you have to it's just challenging. It's just challenging. So like what are you going to do? What are you gonna do? But supposedly, like if you call my line, it's you're supposed to get 10 minutes free, and and then you get paid if it goes over 10 minutes, and it just and like my calls were going 20 minutes and they weren't getting their 10 minutes free, and I wasn't getting I'm not a Hollywood healer. I'm not. How do they pay me? I would just get a check. I would just get a check like in an envelope, or the lines I don't know. I think you cash out or something. I think when you work on the psychic lines like these days, you just like it just adds up money, and then you cash out every couple of weeks or something like that, and they it's direct deposit. But back on the psychic line, we would get a paycheck. We would every 2 weeks or something like that. So you guys have called Keen? That's crazy. That's crazy you guys even know what Keen is. So Um, no, though, I'm not better off here. I'm not better off here. So it's just a weird time for psychics. So if I could book readings anywhere, like I had a lot of luck on Yelp, like being a local psychic, like being a local psychic, like I had a lot of luck on that. But being a phone psychic, I don't know. Like I like reading over the phone. Like I do like that, and I prefer it to reading in person or reading over FaceTime, or I do prefer reading over the phone. Like I feel like if there is like distance placed between you and the person, that it just is easier to relay the information. Um, so I actually like reading over the phone. But then there's all these people that are like, "Oh, I want to see you in person because don't you have to see me and don't you have to feel my energy?" I'm like, "No. No, actually it's kind of better over the phone." Like because you don't feel like you have to please them, or you can be more honest if you're not looking at them. So I actually like reading over the phone, and so you can still get phone readings with me. They're 75 for half hour, which is pretty good deal. Actually, like instead of going to Keen where it's um how to do readings can have such weird idea. Oh, I know. People who try to tell you how to do readings have such a weird idea about how it works. I know. Oh, you loved. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Callie. Yeah, I'm a good little astrologer. I like doing astrological readings. I'm a good little astrologer. I've but I don't I but astrological readings are hard to do because they take a lot of time. They take a lot of time. So you have to have a lot of time, and they have to be willing to pay for that time and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that astrology reading. And that was just a little bit of it. That was just a little bit of it. But some people, I'm a WikiHow astrological expert. So if you type in like how to get a Taurus to call you back, or then it's possible you'll find a WikiHow article that I co-authored. so weird. I've co-authored hundreds of WikiHow articles, like astrological articles. It's like really weird. It's like really super weird. And I'm actually going to be the WikiHow expert of the month, like next month. Oh, you take care, Phoebe. Oh, good. Good on you. Good on you for doing Gongyo. Yeah, but I'm a WikiHow expert. And I do a lot of astrology work. I do a lot of print astrology work, like in magazines and stuff like that, like compatibilities. Like that seems to be like my best my best work is compatibilities. Like I'm really good at compatibilities, but I can read a chart. I can read a chart pretty well. But there's always more, astrologically. Good night. Thanks, Hollywood Healer. Um, so that I mean, there's always so much to astrology. You can always learn more. What's Gongyo? Gongyo is it's a it's the liturgy of Nichiren Daishonin. So it's like a prayer. This is a Gongyo book. I have my Gongyo book right here because my Gahonsan's right here. But it's a Buddhist chant. It just goes on forever and ever and ever. When you do it, I love it. I love Gongyo. Yo ho renge kyo ho ben pandani ni Jesus anju samaya dan ke ga shabya to chaba che it just goes on forever and ever. Come here, pups. Come here. Yeah, Gongyo is rad. It's the Buddhism of Nichiren Daishonin. It's the counterpart to Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. So you chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo and you chant Gongyo together. And so Phoebe is really good. And so you're supposed to do Gongyo twice a day, but I'm lucky if I do it once a day. I used to be a lot more. I have to tell you, my life would probably. I'm a psychic culture historian. You think so? Hey, Fever. There we go. Am I a psychic culture historian? But yeah, Gongyo is rad. It's the liturgy of Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. And so Nichiren Daishonin was like a Japanese Buddha. And he discovered that if you chant the title of the Lotus Sutra, like he said the Lotus Sutra was like the most high sutra, and the thing about the Lotus Sutra, it's saying instead of like only like a couple of people reaching enlightenment, says everybody can. That we all can reach enlightenment. That the Buddha is within all of us, and so that's why they call the Lotus Sutra. Yeah, the Lotus Sutra. You know how there's the Heart Sutra and thank you, Jessica Mack. Thank you so much. Well, there's this one. She said I should write an autobiography. There's this one chapter that my boyfriend says that I need to write in my autobiography. He says that you're not Italian. You're not Italian. Because I had like my online dating time where I just like dated like the weirdest people, like just hundreds of people. It seemed like I met so many people, and I met this one guy, and I went out with him a couple of times, and I don't know why I didn't pick up on it earlier, but he didn't speak. Hi, Danella. He didn't speak English very well. But he said that he was Italian. He said he was Italian, and his name was Cesare. He was Cesare. It was some like Italian last name, and we went on a car ride, like we went on a car ride for the second date, and I put on opera because I love opera. I sing opera, so I think I put on Turandot, which is one of my favorite operas. And I was like, oh, do you know what they're saying? And he was like, no, I've never heard an opera before. And I was like, huh. And and then I just kind of started digging around. I'm like, well, your accent, like he's like, I don't speak very good English. And I said, well, what does your mother call you? And he goes, Caesar. He wasn't Italian. He was like South American or something. He was South American, so he wasn't Italian. I said, you're not Italian. So my boyfriend says I should have a chapter in my book that you're not Italian. Hi, Rob, you heard me.
Cesare Sanchez. Cesare Sanchez. Say without the accent. Caesar Sanchez. My name is Caesar.
What's your name? Caesar Sanchez. Cesare Sanchez. Caesar Sanchez.
He fooled you for about what, one or 2 days?
He fooled me for one date. It was like a coffee date.
That's the introduction. He got through coffee with that bullshit.
He got through coffee.
With just like putting on a show.
Well, no, I only met him for like 15 minutes.
Say, no.
but then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and so I had a car ride with him, and so I was like, you're not, but it still took me an hour. Took me an hour. Like it was just like things were just kind of like,
was he not talking that much?
No, he wasn't talking that much.
He was keeping it.
I was just
short and
see.
Speaks with his hands.
He held it down for about an hour.
He tells this story, right? He tells the same from his own perspective. Like, I fell apart after an hour. I don't know why the fuck I listened to Jordan. Jordan told me, dude, these bitches love Italian. You gotta pretend you're from Europe. Just say you're Italian. Oh, man. Alright, I'll try it out. He tried it on you and it fucking
it worked.
It worked for one date.
You would
bragging to your mom, I'm dating an Italian.
I'm dating an Italian. He would text me in Italian.
What? Ciao.
Ciao. He would text me in Italian, and he was just like doing translate.
Alright, anyways. I don't know the guy. This is many years ago.
He would text me in Italian.
He texted you. I'm gonna start texting you.
So yeah, that's Robert's idea of my book. So I was thinking like the title of my book can be I Was Healed by a Solid Gold Dancer, but probably a lot of you don't even know what solid gold is. Like Solid Gold used to be a show. Do you guys know what solid gold is? No? See? Yes? No? Solid Gold. Yeah, the TV show where they danced. Where they would do the top hits for the week. Oh, you don't know what solid gold is, Callie? Oh, it was brilliant. It was, I guess, back in the 80s. Where Madeline McCoo or whatever. Madeline, what was it? Madeline McCoo or yeah, they would dance. So they would, so the solid gold, so they would have like the song of the week, Bryan Adams sings whatever, and Bryan Adams was singing, the solid gold dancers would come out, and they would all dance, and they all had like they would dance in like gold leotards, and they were and they were like really like they were like but one of them, there was this one lady, she was the black lady, and she was like the best dancer. She was the best dancer. And she went, and after she finished the show, she married the lead singer of the Temptations, and they turned Christian and they started going around to different ministries and ministering to people. And so I went to this church, like this wild church, when I was like 14 or something. I was like 13 or 14 years old. You were young, Rick James. Yeah, I was young in the 80s too. Um, and so when I was like 14, maybe, I would go to this church and they would talk in tongues and they would rattle tambourines, and you would go up and they go, "You're healed," and they would hit you on the forehead and they would catch you and you would go back and they'd lay a little blanket on you. And so I was like going to this wild church. It was wild. People go, "Oh, shikalala, shikalaba," and then somebody would stand up and go, "The Lord says," like they would talk in tongues, and like the person would like translate, and one person, like, these people were like just like, ah. So anyway, so the solid gold dancer, I can't even remember her name. She went and cocaine fell out of the Bible. Oh yeah, no, all of the people that were going to this church, they were like reformed hookers and drug dealers. Like, it was like a really hardcore church. Come here, pups. Hardcore church. So the solid gold dancer, she came to the church, and they had asked, like, "Oh, thank you, believer." They had asked, like, "Okay, who wants to be healed?" And I stood up, and, "Come here, pups, come here." I stood up and she came to me and she pulled me out into the rows of the pews, and she was like, "You're healed." And I fell over and she's like on top of me, like shaking me, "Demons, come out of there." And I'm just like lying on the ground as the solid gold dancer is healing me. She had lipstick on her teeth. Like, that's what I remember. She had lipstick on her teeth. She's like, "Devil, come out of there." And so that's boomers were wild when they were in their prime. Yeah. So yeah, so I was healed by a solid gold dancer. Oh, thank you, believer. I wonder if like that's why I am who I am today. It was all because of her. And then I could dance. No, I never could. Well, I dance a little bit, but not a lot. So anyway, that was going to be the title of my book. I was healed by a solid gold dancer. But no, I'm writing another book, actually. It's called What's Your Problem? That's the name of the book. It's called What's Your Problem? It's Saturn. And it's a book about Saturn in your chart and like how to overcome the Saturn in your chart. Thank you, Jessica. So I am writing a book, and I have a book that's available on my website that I sent out for Christmas. But the Saturn book is a little bit more substantial. Isn't it, pups? But I don't know if I'll ever write an autobiography. Maybe one day. Maybe one day when I'm famous. Yeah, Saturn's a nasty planet. But it's our biggest weakness and our biggest assets, like when we're older. And so I wanted to write about Saturn. What's your problem? It's Saturn. The 80s in my chart. I know, the 80s. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I know. The 80s. I went to a music academy for high school, and we had Grammys in the school. And so like all these Grammy winners came. I think it was James Ingram. James Ingram came, and Manhattan Transfer, and Al Green sang for us. He all came. Born as a Human. I know. That's a good thing. Being human is cool. Being human is cool. But yeah, in the 80s, I went to, but James Ingram. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? So, anyways, so that's story time. Hey, hey, fever. That's story time. You got my story time out of me. You got a little bit of the psychic line. Isn't that right? Maybe I was oh good. I'm glad you liked it. I mean, we were on Saturn is in your chart right now. Where's your Saturn trend zone? So, good, Callie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, no, I was on so many drugs. Oh my gosh. The psychic line, we were on so many drugs. We were on drugs, man. Like it got like when it got like crazy, like lucky number time, when it turned into lucky numbers, it was like drugs. We were doing whippets under our desk. It was really, it was like, what's that noise? We're just like doing whippets. It was ridiculous. Like the shit we would do there was ridiculous. Isn't that right? we were loaded, man. But yeah, good times. Good times, but like really stressful too. It was really stressful. So aggravating. Anyways, I'm going to get off of here, but thanks everybody for joining my live tonight. And I'll try to go live again eventually. I was going live every day, but I just needed a break. I just needed to take a break. So I got to figure out my schedule. So I'll start going live soon, but maybe I'll start going live sooner. Are any of you guys on mine like earlier? Is your claw okay? Is your claw okay? He needs to get his claws clipped. So, yeah, do what you need to do to be healthy. Yeah, I definitely need my sleep. So, oh, you'll come earlier if I go on earlier. Yeah, if I can figure out a way to come on earlier, I will. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for joining my live. Air, fire, earth. Air, fire, earth. Yeah. Do you know where your Saturn is, though, trend zone? Saturn's the shit. Literally is the shit in your chart. It is your problem. It is your problem. So I was going to write once a week. Yeah, I was going every night, but once a week is good. Your Saturn's in Scorpio. Yeah, that's a little bit of a mess. Now, if your Saturn's in Capricorn, you're screwed. But Saturn in Scorpio, so the problem with, now you got me talking astrology. So the problem with Saturn being in Scorpio, so that would be like your Saturn being in your 8th house, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and so Pluto, oh, it's in Aquarius. So is it Pluto? Well, Pluto is like the god of death. It's like the god of death. And now for some reason, somebody's penis gets chopped off. Like Saturn chops off Pluto's penis or something like that. So it's like a real problem. It's a real problem. So, no, Saturn chops off Uranus's penis. So Saturn castrates Uranus. That's right, Mercurius. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. So like, but Pluto, you're an Aquarius, more Uranus. Well, he was a mess. He was like shoving like his kids back up Gaia's wahoo, and he was like, it was just a big problem. But yeah, the drops of blood fall and become the Furies. So the Furies, and then they throw the phallus into the ocean, and it pops out of the ocean as Venus, or no, not as Venus, as Athena, right? Or is it Venus? So for some reason I'm having, yeah, you have to keep the, but Saturn is the castrator. Saturn, they in particular specialize in retribution against men. Yeah, so Saturn is the castrator. But he's also the savior. He's also the savior because he saved his brothers and sisters. So and wasn't he dethroned as well? So he became like king of the gods, and then he was dethroned. But Saturn, there's this at the Getty Museum, they showed Saturn eating his young. He was like eating his baby. Yeah, he was eating his baby. There's this beautiful sculpture of Saturn eating his baby that is like so beautiful, but it makes me laugh because it's just Saturn, and he like has like this baby foot in his mouth, and he just has this beautiful baby. It's at the Getty. It's at the Getty Museum in LA. Saturn eating his young or something like that. Yeah, he would eat his babies because he didn't want to be overthrown because he heard that like one of his babies is going to overthrow him, and so he was eating his babies. But Uranus was shoving his babies back into the womb of Gaia, and so then Saturn was born. So she saved Saturn, and then Saturn is like, we got to stop this Uranus from like being crazy. So we're just going to chop off his wee wee and and do things. The hero lives long enough to see himself become the villain. Interesting. Mercurius retrograde. Yeah. So Saturn is our biggest problem. It's like what castrates us, but it's also what keeps down the artist within us, because Uranus is an artist. Uranus is like art. He has beautiful creations and he has shit creations, and so Saturn like takes the art away, but then also becomes the ruler, and so Saturn is like our biggest problem, but it's also our biggest asset. It's how we grow through life. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, right? So well, anyway, so my book is about that. I got to get all of the facts straightened out, but so interesting stuff. I hope I can finish it. Will I finish it? Ooh. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. So I'm going to get off of here, but thank you so much, everyone, for joining my live. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you have a great night. Good night, hey fever. Good night, Mercurius. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. So I'll see you.